Gentlemen, and probably the maybe one female, maybe, who watches this channel. If you read the description, we're going to go ahead and do a review of the Umarex Gauntlet 2 SL22. This is the newer version of the Gauntlet, and the Gauntlet in the airgun world is pretty ubiquitous. It is everywhere. It's like the Glock of airguns. Everybody has one. And before we get any deeper here, let me go ahead and thank our main channel sponsor, which is High Pressure Pneumatics, of course. They and Umarex actually came together, formed like Voltron, and got this gun in my hand so that you guys could see a review on it. And by the way, I do now have a affiliate program with High Pressure Pneumatics, so you'll find links in the description and comments below with my little affiliate tag on them. If you click in there, do your shopping, won't cost you a penny more, but that'll help keep the channel afloat. I also have an affiliate program with Amazon, same thing. Doesn't even matter if you buy whatever's in the link. You click in, you do your shopping, doesn't cost you a penny more, benefits the channel. And that's how I stay non-monetized on YouTube. I probably forego $300 to $500 a month by not monetizing my channel on YouTube, but it benefits you directly because you don't sit through commercials. So that's all the shilling I'll do. We'll go ahead and get into this review. I'm going to do my typical review, which is 25, 50, and 100 yards. And as you can see, it's a fall day and it's very windy. So probably not the best day to review a gun, but it's the day I have, so we're going to do it. And I do always try to bring you guys the most honest reviews I can. I have never once scrapped a group or cherry picked a group that I've shot on target for video. Whatever I shoot out there, that's what's going on in the video. And I am a pro level airgun shooter. I've done a lot of pro shooting. I've even won matches, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here. What I'm trying to say is I know a lot about air guns. I know how they shoot. I've got a lot of experience. And so when you're watching a review from me, I think that you can trust the information that I'm putting out there. So what we'll do first, I'll come in here, we'll unbox this thing because I haven't even taken it out of the wrap yet. And I'll put an optic on it and we'll go and start shooting it. And I'll show you guys the groups. I'll show you guys the statistics from my FX True Ballistic chronograph. And at the end of the video, the goal is to give you a very good idea of this gun if you're considering purchasing it from High Pressure Pneumatics. All right, guys, since it's not raining just yet, we're going to do this unboxing right here on the deck. You'll notice that I have a tin of pellets there. That's the Umarex Brimstone 18.67 grain pellets they sent over to shoot out of this thing. This gun's advertised as making like 31 or so foot-pounds, so that pellet weight is going to be kind of at the magic speed right around 880, I would assume. So we're going to use that for the review. Plus, it's their house brand, so it kind of makes sense. I did take the gun out of the plastic just so that I wouldn't be wasting your time unboxing it and ripping it out of plastic. But so you get the gun, you get your manual and all your documentations and a sweet Umarex sticker there. You do get 2 magazines, single shot tray, and then it looks like there's a couple of O-rings and an Allen key there. So not sure what those are for yet. Maybe we'll find out, but that's what you get. And then the gun itself is pretty nice. So you can see I haven't even touched this. That's why it's still got the tag on there. I did fill it so that we'd be ready to just start shooting it. But this is the 22 version. So it comes with this olive colored stock, which is one of my favorite gun accessory colors. I think the 30 cal comes with a FDE colored stock. So we've got a 24 cubic inch tank there. It is 4,500 PSI, even though it's aluminum. So you can fill this bad boy all the way up. But anyway, we'll look at the features once I get a scope mounted and it's on a bench. But there's your unboxing for you. Before I even get a scope mounted on this thing, let's go ahead and take a look at the features from tip to butt, Garand thumb style, as we usually do. So it does have a knurled end cap here. Under that is your 1/2x20 threading, so you can put any suppressor on it. Additionally, it is internally suppressed with 4 baffles, and they're boasting an 8 decibel reduction from the original Gauntlet. So that's kind of cool. So I said it has a 24 cubic inch tank. This is a paintball style system with a regulator there. I'll get into that in a second. But 24 cubic inches, guys, that's about 393 cc's. So essentially like a 400 cc tank on this thing. And you'll notice we've got a paintball style regulator and we've got the gauge on the other side. And it is a Ninja regulator, it appears, because I do see the Ninja logo, which they do make the best regulators. And when I did tournament paintball for 25 years, I was actually sponsored by Ninja, so I know a lot about them. But speaking of that, so here is a piston for a paintball regulator. Now this regulator, mind you, it's not externally adjustable and it's really not even internally adjustable unless you really know what you're doing. But so, you know, that's one kind of thing to detract from the rifle, is no externally adjustable regulator. But these regulators in these paintball guns are solid as hell. Here's the piston for one of them, and you can see that this is way bigger than like any other airgun regulator piston. And these are Belleville washers here. So if you really knew what you were doing, you could open that up and you could reconfigure your Belleville washers for higher pressure if you wanted. If you don't know what you're doing, definitely do not do that. But I wanted to show you a paintball regulator that I pulled out of my tech kit from being a tech for a million years at paintball. But very robust. These things do not really creep much at all, and they almost never need maintenance for a super long time. And with a paintball regulator, this is meant for super fast shots, and that piston's going like this, and you're probably shooting on one outing over 2,000 shots, and you don't need to maintenance this for probably several years. On this gun, you're not going to shoot that much, and so the maintenance is going to be minimal. Anyway, we do have a trigger here with a safety in this style, so you flip it over like that, that's safe, and then it kind of springs back to ready to fire. We see the stats on the side here, regulated to 1900 psi, 131 bar, max pressure 4500, and this is a 22. Okay, so let me spin around to the other side here. Oh, I forgot to mention, up here we do have some M-LOK slots, so if you want to attach some M-LOK stuff, you can. The rail here is a combo rail, so it's dovetail on the top and Picatinny, so you can mount whatever scope mount you have, it'll work. We've got the side lever here, and it's pretty smooth cocking, especially compared to the previous Gauntlet, which had the bolt. I thought that one was kind of a little harsh. You've got an adjustable cheek piece there, pretty nice stock, and yeah, that's essentially what it is. I do not really know where the hammer adjuster is. I imagine you have to take it out of the stock, but in any case, we are going to shoot this as is, straight out of the box, and see how she does, because that is probably what you're going to do with it. So I want to give you guys that experience. So I'll get a scope mounted on this and we'll start shooting it next. All right, folks, so it's actually a few days later. What happens to me like 90% of the time when it's a rainy day and I go to do a review is that I set everything up and then instantly it starts storming or gets super windy. And that's what happened the other day. So I wanted to try to wait for a little bit better day with less wind to try to be a little bit more fair to the gun. But unfortunately, I don't know if you can see it, but looking around, it's still pretty windy out here today. But again, I like to do reviews and give you real world conditions. So we're just going to roll with it. So I'm going to shoot this thing at 25, 50 and see if I can stretch it out to 100 yards, and we'll see how it does. All right, dudes, let's get this thing started. So I've got the Umarex Brimstone 18.67 grain 22 pellets that I said I'd be testing. So we've got some of those. And then I've got some JTS 21.53 grain pellets as well. And the basic plan here is I'm going to shoot 2 5-round groups of each pellet, because the magazines hold 10, on target there at 25 yards. And whichever one groups the best, we're going to go ahead and use that for the rest of the review at 50. And then I think I'll try to stretch it out to 100 yards. A little bit windy back there, probably a little bit better than the first day I attempted to start filming. But anyway, that's enough jibber jabber. Let's get on with the show here. So I've got the tank filled up to 4,500 PSI. It's been sitting for a while. I do expect maybe the first shot to be hot. So just so that we don't skew our groups, I'm going to single load one and just make sure I'm on target. And we'll take a look at the velocities for the whole string of the gun. So I'm just going to carefully feed one in there. And we'll start recording. And let me just shoot, I guess, this target right here. .982. I knew that was going to be a little bit hot. And although this gun is pretty backyard friendly, I have terrible tinnitus, so I'm going to throw in the earplugs. Going to have to sleep with the fan on a little extra high today after that one. But let's do like, I don't know, just 3 shots to let it settle in, because it has been sitting. And that first hot shot was 40 foot-pounds, so that's not too bad. That sounded more like it. Okay, 943. I had just filled it and then it was sitting out here, so I expected the reg to creep a little bit. So, okay. All right, so I think we're close enough to being on target. So I will go ahead and start a new string so we can get some stats on the chronograph. And we'll start shooting with the Brimstone 18.67 grain pellets here. 2 5-round groups at the targets at 25. All right, I guess we'll just start right about here. Okay, 942. I hope I didn't just shoot 6. Nope, that was 5. All right, not looking super great at 25 yards with these pellets, but let's do another one. Okay, maybe just needed to warm up a little bit because those are looking a lot better. All right, so there's our 2 5-round groups. This one was a cold bore group, so you got to give it that, but not super bad. All right, now let's check out the JTS 21.53, but before we do, let's look at some stats. All right, so we got 10 shots, all of them got captured there. High was 942, low was 931, average 938, standard deviation 3.17, not bad, and a spread of 11. And it's showing me my BC is 0.020, which I'm pretty sure is wrong because we're so close. I'm not sure it's capturing that correctly. Also, the ATN scope does not go into thousandths in BC, so I'm only able to put in like 0.03 rather than like 0.036. So that's going to limit me a little bit, I think, in getting first shot hits on target, especially at like 100 yards. So we'll see how that works. But anyway, let me start a new string here. And we'll go ahead and shoot these 21.53 grain JTS pellets and see how they do at 25 yards. So for whatever reason, these are a little bit heavier. I actually expected a bit higher velocity, but we're right at about 880. That one was 8.9, and that's kind of right around the magic speed for pellets. Wow. Okay, I think that was 5. Let me just double check. Yep, I got 5 left. So it's looking like these pellets are probably going to be the winner for the rest of this review. And you do have to find a pellet that your gun likes. And being that this gun is kind of a, preset from the factory gun, it doesn't have an adjustable regulator, you're just going to want to try a bunch of pellets and see what it likes the best. And honestly, I have not tried a bunch of different pellets. These are really the only 2 pellets I've tried in this. So your results may vary, but let's shoot another group here. Looks like the POI is pretty consistent. That was same hole. All right, so I think we can see which pellet is the clear winner here, and it is not the Umarex Brimstone. Sorry, Umarex, we're gonna go with the JTS Dead Center 21.53. Let's take a look at some stats. All right, so I think I only captured 9 there. Oh, for some reason I only captured 6, but of those 6 shots, high was 884, low was 878, average was 881, which is like pretty much a perfect speed. Standard deviation 1.94 and BC 0.045. So with a spread of 5.6. So yeah, that's the clear winner. We're gonna go ahead and use that. I will go ahead and take this out to 50 yards and then I'll meet you back here. All right, guys, I've got my target out there now at 50 yards. I've got a big 6-inch shoot and see stuck to it, which has been sitting out in the cold, so it doesn't want to adhere that well, but we're going to do the best with what we've got. And I have taken a total of 24 shots out of this thing, and it's sitting right under 4,000 PSI, and I did have a full 4,500 fill. Also, it's cold out, so I might be dropping a little bit of pressure because of that, but it seems to be pretty efficient. So we'll go ahead here and I'll laser that with the onboard laser on this scope, and we will go ahead and start shooting at 50. All right, I'm about ready to shoot. I've got this thing lasered with the ATN scope. We're going to go ahead and trust the ballistics here and see if we can get some groups here at 50 yards. Hopefully the ballistics calculated correctly. Okay, so that was 10, and we'll do one more full magazine at 50 yards. And I'm just going to go ahead and shoot this unshot target right here. But seeing that we were a little bit low with however this calculated the ballistics at 50, I'm going to go ahead and hold right at the ring right there on that target. It's actually shooting not too bad. And I noticed a lot of those didn't read. But anyway, that picked up 11 shots. We got a high at 894, a low at 868, average 875, standard deviation of 6.4, and a spread of 26.2. Anyway, we'll take it out to 100 next, see how it does. I think I'm just going to try to find a very large target and put it on there because I want to see where we're hitting. That's coming up next. All right, guys, I'm about to go and put this out to 100 yards, but I want you to note just how windy it is. It's pretty windy, actually. But let's take a look at some of our groups before we set this out there. All right, so this is what I started with the Umarex brimstone pellets at 25 yards, and that was cold bore right out of the box, so probably needed to warm up a little bit, so we got a little bit better group the second time. Then we did these two groups with the JTS 21.53 grain pellets. Groups tightened up substantially. This was our first 10 round at 50 yards, and I don't think the ballistics is calculating properly on that scope. And then this was the second 10 round group at 50 yards, which was pretty respectable, actually. So what I'm going to do is I found this raggedy bastard in the shed. I'm going to pin that up here, and then I'll put that out at 100 yards, and we'll see how she does at 100. All right, let's get this going at 100 yards. I got my chronograph here. We're going to see how it does in any case. Hopefully the target is big enough to score a hit on first impact so we can see where we're hitting here. But let's go ahead. We'll start recording here and load a 10 round magazine, and we'll end up taking 20 shots on target down there. And currently I have actually taken like 44 shots, I think, and I'm a little bit over 3,000 PSI. So I think we should be able to get the advertised 70 shots out of this thing. And in this review, we'll be shooting 64 or 65. So we should know. All All right, guys, so here is the 20 shot group I just shot at 100 yards, and I don't pull any punches, so I only did this once, and whatever I get on camera is what you're going to see. So the furthest distance we have here to those two shots is right at around 8.5, 9 inches or so, but sort of the average group here is looking not actually too bad. So right around 3-4-ish MOA for that, which for customers of this gun is probably going to be fine. They're probably popping squirrels and chipmunks and raccoons off their back deck, 25, 30 yards. And we saw at 25 and 50 yards even, the gun shot definitely doable for that kind of thing. Definitely could be taking squirrel headshots at 50 yards, but it did open up considerably at 100. So those are my exact results from today with the JTS 21.53 grain 22 caliber pellets. All right, Kings, let's wrap this up. I'll kind of do it in my own words with a conclusion and some pros and cons of this thing. So I wanted to highlight one thing that could be a pro and a con depending on who you talk to, which is the non-adjustable paintball style regulator on this thing. Now, for people who are going to think it's a pro, those are people who just want something out of the box. They don't want to fiddle with it. So you do get that here. And then some other pros of this is that these regulators have been around for years and years and years. They are completely standard in paintball, meaning all of the parts are very cheap and available. So if you break your gauge or, you wear out the parts in the fill nipple or the fill nipple itself, they're all 1/8 NPT threaded. You can get them literally anywhere, any paintball store, online, everywhere, including the burst disc and even the piston and all the parts inside. They're very easy to come by. So that's kind of cool. Also, these regs are super consistent and require almost no maintenance for a super long time. So could be a pro to some people. Having a non-adjustable regulator could be a con for some people, but that's kind of, I think, a pretty even-keeled synopsis of what you get with that regulator. I do like that it's 4,500 PSI in the bottle, so that's about 310 bar. A lot of these budget guns, you only can fill to 250 bar, which is about 3,600 PSI, so you do get some extra shots out of it there. I think they did a good job with having such a thin barrel, but still having it be integrally suppressed and pretty quiet. So there's some baffles in here that kind of shut the gun up. It is 1/2x20 threaded on the end. They do include a knurled end cap, so you can protect your threads, or you can take it off and put a moderator on there from Donnie FL or any other brand that you prefer. So that's kind of cool. One con for me, which also might be a pro to some new PCP users, is that it doesn't have an externally adjustable hammer spring. I wanted to fiddle with that, of course. You guys know me, but maybe if you're a new PCP airgun shopper, you just want to grab something out of the box. You don't want to fiddle with it. And so that does get provided to you with this package. Now, I know Hajimoto and some other people are doing crazy custom mods to this gun. So that's not to say that this gun isn't like modifiable. If you want to get one of these and start hot rodding it, there's tons of parts out for these things, which is cool. So additionally, I like how they added the side lever on these newer models. The old model was a bolt action that you had to pull up and back, and it was kind of a little bit, it just felt a little rough, and this is much, much smoother. So I do like that. The adjustable cheek piece on the stock can come up and down. That's kind of cool. Kind of a unique safety on this one where you click it in like that and then click it off like that. 10 round mags, your box comes with 2 of them. So that's nice that you only just don't get 1 mag. You do get 2 mags, 10 rounds each. So yeah, I think, you guys saw the groups at 25, 50, and 100 yards, and that's exactly what I got in these conditions today. But for retailing right around 429, I think, for a new PCP user, this thing's known to be pretty bulletproof, and it shoots pretty decently. So your results may vary with different pellets that you try. I mean, we only tried 2 different brands of pellets in 2 different weights, but you could buy 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 different types of pellets and test them all and really see which pellet this thing likes, and really find something that maybe you'll get a lot better results than I did. But anyway, I hope for prospective buyers, this review was helpful. You can pick these guns up over at High Pressure Pneumatics. I'll drop links in the description and comments below, as I always do with like everything I use. So including the scope and all that stuff, and then some other cool stuff. Always check those links because I drop a lot of cool stuff in there, and some of them are affiliate links, which help the channel. So I appreciate you guys if you're using them. And I really hope that you guys thought my efforts here to review this thing were helpful in your purchasing decisions. So thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace.